Hello, Airgun Geek Nation. Well, we got to get business out of the way first. So I want to personally thank Donnie FL and their team for their support for the 2025 season.
Heck yeah.
They are silence when it comes to making things go shush. So you know how to check them out, DonnieFL.com. Also, our good friend and longtime supporter, Tom, over at High Pressure Pneumatic. Excellent place. It's a fantastic mom and pop shop up in Michigan. If you're ever in the area, check them out or give them a call. HighPressurePneumatics.com.
And I would like to call attention to our friends at Predator International, JSB. Jay has been a supporter of this podcast for a long time, and his products are absolutely legendary in the airgun world. So if you don't have JSB pellets in your rotation, for testing out that new gun, you need to consider giving them some love because it's worth it. And of course, our sponsors for this 2025 season, for your Airgun geeks being out there mixing it up and competing with you, is Palm Beach Air. And I got a big thanks to Joel and Julie for supporting these two goofballs. Mm-hmm. And I will say this is really, the PA Cup is our last contest for 2025. And Pat and I definitely leveled up the game. We were a first year shooting team, and we definitely ratcheted up the intensity, the training, and the results for 2025 at the PA Cup. We'll get into that a little bit later.
So, what have you been up to since I've seen you a couple weeks ago?
Well, it's funny you say that because it has been it's been a whirlwind trip since I got back. We had some serious issues with some trees here on the property, and I will throw up a video clip right now. Why is that? Hang on. We are experiencing technical difficulties. That idiot dog you hear in the background, that is my Great Pyrenees. She's protecting us from the tree cutters. But this was a massive pine tree. And I will restart it. Look at that thing. That's a life-size human being. He's not a dwarf.
Wow.
It's a big pine tree. But what it allowed me to do was finally get a backstop for my range.
Oh,
and yeah, these rounds are 32 inches in diameter. I think it'll take me about 2 or 3 million years to shoot through those with a 177 field target gun. Now, to give this some perspective, my range changes in elevation from way back where the bench is. It goes up about 11 or 12 feet from start to finish over 55 yards. The problem with that is most of the time I'm shooting into the dirt. So if I miss, it just goes into the ground. But I wasn't able to use this upper part of the range because I was afraid of the pellets leaving the property. Now, to put this in perspective, it's got to cross 2 major roads and a large creek that feeds the San Lorenzo River. So before it gets anywhere that matters, it's got to go through the woods about 400 yards to get out there. So I really wasn't worried about it, but I didn't want to shoot all the way to the edge of a range and have the pellets leave the terrain. So that was the purpose for this backstop. So that was really cool. And my friend Pat was able to ship me my winnings from the raffle at the PA Cup. And that was a Macavity Arms, new company to the airgun scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what that gun did out of the box. So this was literally on Friday when it arrived by UPS. I yanked it out of the box. I had to throw a moderator on it. They give you a little screw-on tube for the end.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a moderator. It looks like it wants to be one day. And this may be a good opportunity for our friends at Impulse Air to make a stack of baffles for that. That'll turn that into a legitimate moderator. But out of the box, friends, it is not. And this thing in 30 cal is about as far from backyard friendly as you can get. It barks pretty loud. Now, Pat and I competed at the what was the iguana shoot that
the Iguana Sniper Challenge.
the iguana sniper challenge, and I won a 0 dB 30 cal moderator. That hush pipe got this Macavity Arms quieted down right away. Now, this, I don't want to state that this is indicative of the accuracy of the gun. I had a really, really low cost optic on here. It was just a 3 to 9 power. And I could have done better. As the guy driving this gun, I think, these 3 shots right here that were tight together, that's probably reality. These here are probably a shooter on a gun that he's not familiar with and not used to. But I will say a lot of things I liked about the Macavity. The trigger I thought was pretty good out of the box. The toggle, cycling the action back and forth, I thought was pretty smooth. One thing I didn't like was the grip. When you hold the grip, you can feel the whole grip kind of move.
Yeah.
On the mounting, and I got to look at that. Now, it's not a nice thing about the M2. It's all compatible with AR hardware. So if you don't like the buttstock, put something else on. If you don't like the grip, you can change it. So that part of it's really cool. The other thing that kind of drove me crazy, Pat, and this is this goes back to our conversation we had at the Cup with Hawk Optics. Not about optics, but on the gun, it says the max fill pressure is 250 bar. But all the gauges on the gun are in PSI. So,
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm glad you brought that up.
To Macavity Arms, guys, if you want, just please put the PSI right next to 250 bar or underneath of it or somewhere. I mean, a lot of us can do that in our heads, but to the new shooter, it really is a pain in the neck. And I appreciate you using PSI because that's what I'm used to. But certainly our European friends tend to use bar more. But
I agree.
Put both of them on there.
I agree.
Anyway, I enjoyed the gun. I will say the magazines are ridiculously easy to load.
Yes, I remember that. I got to shoot that at the PA Cup.
I will say I could probably load those mags hanging from a tree stand by 1 foot in the rain, half drunk. That's how good they were to load. None of the floppy door stuff like some of our stuff from Snow Peak or Umarex. It really, really well thought out, nicely designed mag. Not as much capacity as I would like, but honestly, this gun is going to be my my tool against the coyote. We've been plagued with a group of coyotes out here that needs to stop. So I'm on the warpath with them and with the California ground squirrel. I've been trying to get an allegiance to get the coyotes to go after the ground squirrels and maybe give them a little extension, but they're not really up to talking. So I'm going to have to take both of these guys out.
Yeah. And I'll agree. I got to shoot the Macavity. I thought the cocking effort was phenomenal. The trigger is adjustable and the accuracy was good. The price point is what also got me pretty good.
Oh yeah.
They're about $450, $490, right in that range. Cause there's there's the sniper version, which is the one that you got, and then there's a shorter one. And they're right in that price range. And it's like, well, for what you're getting,
Mhm.
you get that kind of butterness with the cocking effort with the higher end stuff.
Agreed.
And here you're getting it right there. And the overall feel and everything, it seemed well balanced for what it is.
Mhm.
And the options of changing the grip and the buttstock, because I'm pretty positive it's mil spec. So you're not going to have an issue with that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's regulated, which was another thing.
Yes.
Now, where I'm interested in is to see what they
Now,
did with the MA3 version, the third gen. Now that's something we're going to have to talk about later on in another podcast.
and the M8. Mm.
Yes, well, that's in a whole new world. Yeah, their bench gun, that was something. All
Yeah.
electronic, all mechanical except for the trigger. And we've talked
Yep.
about that in other podcasts.
Yep.
I'm like, I didn't miss one time. And they had it set up for 35 cal, and it was remarkable. So definitely something to be piquing our interest. I'll tell you that.
I guess you should have borrowed that gun for the speed shooting. Ooh. Oh, sorry.
They only allowed us to go to 22.
Just,
They didn't have a 22 barrel.
just kidding.
That's the
Just
excuse I'm going
kidding.
to use right now.
Yeah, the other new gun in the stable for me was the new Vapor Max
Oh,
from Crosman. And for the listeners, I just did the big air quotes there.
mhm.
I don't believe for a millisecond that the Crosman Vapor Max has anything to do with Crosman whatsoever. It's like, guys, what are you trying to do? It has Gammo mags, which I can say I like Gammo mags more than I do most Crosman mags. But why are you trying to sell this as a Crosman gun when
Mhm.
it clearly appears to be a Gammo? And I will say this: I'm out of the box quality, I would say, was quite low. On my unit, I got it from Airgun Depot. I actually received it in the mail while I was at the PA Cup.
Mhm.
It was back ordered for a while. So I finally get it and I take it out of the box. And Pat, half of the cocking lever was sticking out of the receiver on the side.
Oh,
So you couldn't move it. It was all locked up. I'm like, how does this get out in the public? So I had to split the halves of the receiver. It's 8 screws. Literally
geez.
one side is screwed to the other side and the other side is screwed to that side. So there's 8 screws holding that together. But it wasn't a big deal to fix it, but I shouldn't have to fix a brand new gun out of the box. So
Agree.
are we going to call this a Gamosman or a Crossmo? What is this gun actually called? Now, all that kidding aside, when I first started shooting it, I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? This
Mhm.
group that's up on the screen right now, for those that are listening, it's over 5 MOA. It is a really bad group. And it's using the Crosman Premium wad cutters or round noses in the cardboard box. So they're supposed to be the good ones, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, no. This gun initially really didn't like those. Now, I will also add that this gun, especially this gun, as you shoot it, it tends to get better. So don't judge the accuracy until you get to around 100 pellets.
Mhm.
And don't be afraid to experiment at that point again with pellets that really like or dislike this barrel, because this is the group that I shot, which now we're down to 1.5 MOA.
Wow.
And these are the dead centers, the GTS dead center 8.8 round nose pellets. They worked really, really well in that gun. They liked that gun a lot. And Pat, as I went through that whole exercise, which we'll get at more in the PA Cup preparation part of the show today,
Mm-hmm.
I I went through some trials and tribulations getting that barrel system worked out. And when I came back, I had a whole sample kit that JTS Dead Center gave me.
Yeah, those are great kits that they passed out.
And
Agreed.
I'll tell you what, Pat, I was blown away. My beloved FX Crown now has a new favorite pellet, and it's a Dead Center.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So my 22 Crown really likes the Dead Center MO, one particular one. And my 177 has found a new leading candidate for pellet for next field target season.
Well, don't let the fat lady sing yet, because remember that little package I sent you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I got to try those too.
Those worked great in my Air Max Catran 177, aka the scalpel. Yeah. So
Very
I'm
true.
curious to see how that goes. So, but we like to run things in 3. So
yeah. Well, I try to use I try, like every bit of data I collect on accuracy, I always use this Ballistic X application because it allows me to go back in time and actually look at data and say, okay, with this pellet, this range, I was able to do that. And, that's really helpful for me sorting things out going forward. But what's going on out there in Florida with you, Pat?
well,
I hear you got a new arsenal, a new weapon in your arsenal there as well.
I did come back to something new. Unlike you in California where it's nice and dry, I think we need to wear life vests at this time. This is the non-rainy season. We did make it through September. First time I heard in 10 years, no landfall of a hurricane. So woo, party.
Ooh, yay.
But we got like 6-7 inches of rain yesterday. So that was like October 2nd. I'm like, gosh. So other than that, I ended up coming back to at Palm Beach Airguns. Joel got me one, a AGT Vixen Gen 2. They're standard or compact, whatever you want to call it. And very nice. Very nice. Too new to get too far into the opinions on it, but so far I love it. Right out of the box though, 28 foot-pounds with a 16 grain pellet. I was like, God. Now, to give the people the knowledge on this one is the Gen 1 was only a 20 foot-pound gun. That was it. And this is a big increase. Barrel, I think, is a little longer and whatnot. And the top rail is definitely longer. And they made the bottom handguard all aluminum, and it's got an ARCA groove in it, along with a long Picatinny rail on the back of it. So it's really great so far.
So what you're saying is if you actually remember your bipod, it's a really good thing because it doesn't matter which one you brought.
Bipods are great, but again, if I would have had this one, and we'll get into it later, it wouldn't matter that I brought the ARCA mount bipod. We would have been golden, but I didn't. Because it requires
you'll learn more why that matters here in a little bit.
But as trials and tribulations, you just overcome them in one battle at a time. So I ended up detuning it. It's about 21 foot-pounds now. From factory, I think they're getting 60 shots. I should be around 80, but we'll have more info on the next podcast because I only got about 200 shots through it. But so far, takes out baby iguanas at 60 yards pretty well.
Nice.
With the Hades pellet or atomic, whichever you want to call it.
Have you compared the two guns side by side accuracy wise yet?
Oh, they're both stupid accurate. It's stupid. Yeah, it's just about foot-pounds of energy is really how I would just compare the two. They're both stupid light. I think they got the Gen 1 Vixen long, and that's like 6 pounds. 6.5 pounds with my Prism immersive optic prism scope on it. And this one is 5 factory, and then it's about 5.5 pounds from what I can remember. Loaded, it's just smaller. So when I'm under the trees, I don't have this long barrel whipping around. And I did find it really needs a suppressor because I want to be like a mouse fart ninja. Like, I want no noise. One, it scares the other iguanas, and two, I don't want to attract Karens in my business while I'm trying to get Bob and Helen here. And I found that it's got an M14 by 125 thread. A little annoying, but
you might want to check out our sponsors there, Pat, to quiet that gun down a bit.
Well, we had a fat boy.
Ooh.
To take the 2 sponsors.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, well, I used to. So someone has to here, right? So the funny part is everyone may or may not know, but the fat boy on the one end, it's got all the air stripper sizes for 17722. Then there's a 2225, and there's a 2530. Well, funny it be, because it's an M14 thread on the Vixen, that I just says, let's turn it around. Did you know that that's an M14 by 125 thread? And I screwed the can on backwards. And they're like, wait a minute, can you do that? Yes, you can. With the soup can, aka the Fat Boy, it's the same expansion chamber on each side. It's got one baffle in the middle. So it didn't matter. And it butts up perfectly. It's the same diameter as the external, the shroud that's on there now. And it is stupid quiet. So, and I got no POI shift. And yes, I'm shooting past the threads on the other end because I'm waiting for the adapter so I could turn it back around, use the air stripper, and use it correctly. So, but
leave it to Pat putting it in the wrong hole.
Well, as long as it works, right? Yeah. The sounds were muffled, so it didn't matter. So yeah, that's been fun. And I messed around with your Macavity a little bit, but I played with that a lot at the PA Cup at the vendor's place. I just wanted to see what came in the box, and I was impressed on how they packaged it. It was very well done.
And it's very well packaged. You're right there. It is, and they even give you a castle nut tool.
Yeah,
for putting stock on, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, and 3 mags. So that was impressive. I didn't know they came with 3 magazines. And the way they packaged it, there's absolutely no way it could get damaged.
And what's funny is you get about 3 mags worth of use before you fall off the reg. So it's pretty well thought out that, hey, if you got 3 mags, when you get to the end, you need air and you need lead.
Yeah, that's how I run my air guns. The Vixen, I think I have 5 mags, and I know that I'm out after that. So it's a mental thing, oh, no more mags, got to go put air in and load up the pellets again. So that was fun with that. That's the new thing. The adventures with the rain and chasing the iguanas, because it's ridiculous right now on how many iguanas there are, and because it's their primary mating season, so they're turning lovely orange. So one, they're easier to find, and then they're congregated because they're all around the big males. So
love is in the air, is what you're saying.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Yep. Even though they got 2 more breeding cycles.
At all busting that big male in the head during mating season,
Well, I have a joke that goes with that. It might be a little lame, guys, but I call them the Julius Caesars of the tree, because you may or may not know, the male iguana stays in 1 or 2 trees. Generally, if they're next to each other, he'll be in both. But if it's just 1 tree, he'll stay right there. And well, his milkshake brings the girls to the yard. So if you leave him, the girls just keep coming, and you just shoot them as they're in the trees, because you'll see him, and then all of a sudden heads start popping up and they start moving all in the tree, and you could be stuck on a tree for an hour, because it's also like hunting squirrels. They
Mhm.
sit low and then they wrap around the tree. So, but I do have a way to combat that, and that's called another shooter. So my son finally he came down here. He joined the lizard extinction team
Nice.
to do that, and then Bill, when you come down, we got artillery because you're the long range guy, and it's crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a very
Big
busy
fun.
season, so we'll get some video content of that with the different guns.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, I have to say things are crazy here in Florida. I mean, some of you may or may not know I work at Palm Beach Airguns part time, and it's ridiculous. The air guns that go through that shop. One for you guys when you guys are in Florida, stopping in physically, ordering online, all that stuff. I know we all appreciate that, and the conversations is the most fun because we
Mhm.
got two stools, a table, and we threw another stool out, and we're just laughing it up and selling air guns, and everyone's shooting iguanas. So, but now it's starting to be deer season, so now they all want to go shoot deer. And down here in Florida, you're allowed to use a 30 caliber, but there's no foot pound requirement, so I don't really know how I feel about that.
Nice.
But you can use a 30 cal pellet gun. So, yeah.
I mean, I think as long as you're, I don't know, if you're a really good shot and you're producing between 120 and 150 foot
Mhm.
pounds with a good performance slug, um, I could see that.
Mhm.
But you you'd better be a good shooter, otherwise,
Mhm.
it, the chances of you creating enough wound channel to ensure a humane kill is probably not likely.
Agree. Agree.
But a
So
headshot with a gun like that, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm
If you can
thinking
pull that off,
headshot only
yeah.
because there's a lot of 30 cals aren't up there, you know. But yeah, so got to do a lot of that stuff and have some fun.
Mhm.
Other than that, there's not much else going on here. Um, but the people we got to talk to, and the little tidbits that have come out in the other videos before this, with Citron and that objective reducer, that
Mhm.
was a fascinating conversation
Yeah,
about
that
what
was
was
actually
going on.
it was a really good video for your channel. And what's
Yes.
hysterical, if you want to know whether or not YouTube is biased, they are.
Hmm.
Because I did exactly the same video on Pat's channel for the
Mhm.
Mirage Ring as I did on my channel, which my
Mhm.
channel's got over 5,000 subs. It it didn't do even half as well as the same video on Pat's. So, I mean, YouTube hates my channel. They hate anything to do with air guns. They're just not, because Pat's channel is still a little smaller. They're not as keyed into it. Um,
Mhm.
Man, I hope things change in this country and with our tech partners, that they knock this crap off and allow the growth to happen organically and stop trying to hush everything down. But um, yeah, that video on the Mirage Ring was so much fun to shoot, um, with John from Citron. And I think that's a great segue, Pat, for us to get into the moment we've all been waiting for. Wait for it. The PA Cup 2025, Pat.
Woo! And
Yeah,
yes, we have sound effects now.
yes, we do. We have upgraded. We are somewhere around 1974 now.
Yes. Yes. The beginning of green screens. Yeah. No.
Yes. So
Oh.
in the preparations for getting ready for the PA Cup, I built this ridiculous barrel system
Mhm.
for my crown, which some things about it were absolutely remarkable. Pat, I was able to sight that gun in before I left,
Mm-hmm.
pack it in a case,
Yep.
fly from San Jose, California, all the way to Atlanta. From Atlanta, catch a flight to Columbus,
Mhm.
jump in Pat's mystery van, and then get to the venue. Took that gun out of the box and 0 POI shift.
0.
0.
I was shocked. I'm like, other
So
people were like, you just pulled it out of the box?
yeah.
Yep.
So the tension barrel is real. That adds a level of rigidity that ultralight barrel that came original with the Crown could never match. However,
Mm-hmm.
this is where the wheels come off that train. I had it in my head that I wanted a slower twist rate for pellets in 177.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out of my way to get a 1 in 28 liner for that gun. And I never even tested the 1 in 18 that came with it. I literally took that liner out, put the one that I thought, air quotes here, thought would have been better. And honestly, out to 35 yards, it was pretty good. I could pretty much hit what I was aiming at. But from 35 to 55, man, it just got bad. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I had not made the range improvements here, which would have allowed me to push out further. So when I got to Ohio, Pat and I scurried over. I think it was Wednesday. We actually got all registered and we ran right over to the test range.
Yep. Make sure everything was good.
And I had a target at 56 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew right there, my heart sunk because
Is that what that sound was?
yes,
Oh.
that's what that sound was.
Mm-hmm.
It also sounds like flatulence, but
Mm-hmm.
it was ghastly at 56 yards. Probably a 2.5-inch group at that range. That's just not acceptable. So I was like, well, I've got what I've got. I'm going to have to do the best I can with it. And that was fine. I mean, I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'll go through my performance really quick because it's pretty short. I shot field target, so that means I didn't have anything to do on Thursday. Friday was my first day,
Mm-hmm.
and that started at 11 a.m. and went until 5 p.m. There were
To correct you, Bill, was you had to be there at 10:45 on the dot for the safety meeting.
true.
All those people there were a lot of shooters.
Oh
So
my gosh,
Tyler
that was a big filter. We had almost the whole thing was 4-man squads
yeah.
on
Yeah,
day
I was
one.
impressed. I was like,
There,
wow.
yeah, there were some guys that had mechanical issues or whatever, or it was just the heat. I mean, it was 90 freaking degrees
Yeah.
at
It was nice in
midday.
the woods though.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful range, but I will tell you this. The contrast between shooting field target in the woods in Ohio versus shooting field target out here in Central California or the southern edge of Northern California. The two clubs I shoot at are Diablo and Ione, and they're both on regular rifle ranges. So it's basically just a great big rectangle of dirt, and your targets are out there. And it's a rifle range. There's tracks in the ground for different standard ranges. So if you get a misread on your wheel for range, you're like, well, wait a minute, that's 5 yards away from the 30-yard line. I'm pretty sure that's 35 yards. I can do the math. You do not have that on a range in Ohio for field target. It's in the woods.
Yep.
You've got no real clues to what's going on.
And the contrast from dark to light to where is it? So many people were like, I can't see it when I was walking around while you were shooting and stuff. And they're like, I don't see it. And then they're looking through the scope and they're like, there it is. And I'm like, where? And you hear clink. No, it was ridiculous. Yeah, I hear
And
you.
you know, on day one, we were on there was two effective setups. There was the yellow and the blue. And whatever you started on blue on Friday, then you finished on yellow on Saturday. And we had some really good shooters on the first day. So we're shooting the blue course. It's the more challenging of the two. Pat, one of my squad mates, first time ever shooting field target, shows up with a box stock Umarex Nodos and a bug buster scope.
Yep.
That was what this guy had. Now, to his credit, he did pretty darn well.
Yes, he did.
I think he hit 32 his first day.
Something like that, yeah.
And I was blown away. This kid's a really good shooter. He and his wife both compete. She absolutely smoked him.
Oh yeah, she had a Thomas.
Yeah, she
was
did,
able to shoot with
a Tommy gun. She did
Yeah.
very well. She did very well. But yeah, both of them are really good shooters. For anybody to do that well with a freaking Nodos, you know, in that arena was really cool. And then I had Gary and Dale, I think, on my
Sounds right.
squad that day, and they were wonderful gentlemen. It was a pleasure to shoot with everyone. And on day two, I had one guy, older guy, Steve. He was a crack shot. This guy was really good. You can tell he'd been in the field target game a long time. And I had a lady named Linda. Her gun blew up 3 days before the event. All right. She's a field target shooter. And bear in mind, this field target match in Ohio is like in the center of some of the biggest, best organized field target clubs in the US. There's like
5 in Ohio.
5 really good clubs there. So a lot of their better shooters are going to go to this event because, hey, it's right in the same state. So, you know, your competition in that arena is pretty stout.
Yes.
And I will say this, the lady who won, I shoot Hunter PCP. The lady who won that, I think might have been from Arizona. She was definitely flying the J-State colors. But a lot of the shooters from Ohio were very high up.
Barb, she shoots for the Wolfpack.
Yes.
She's very good. She goes around with Lauren Parsons. So
yeah,
they're good shooters.
And Lauren actually got into the WTF or WFT.
Something like that. The World's Field Target something.
World Field Target, WFT. She was in a shoot-off at the end of that. So Saturday afternoon, she got to go over to the bench rest range and have a shoot-off against another really competitive shooter. And that's the only reason she didn't get first. Otherwise, they were tied. And he had one kneeling shot, I think it was, that finally allowed him to get the win because it was sudden death. But absolutely a lot of energy. I've shot field target quite a bit, and I've never had that much energy coming out of a field target match. It was pretty darn cool. But you know, even though I was nowhere near last, I actually looked at my standings, and I was in the middle third of shooters. And for me, you know, first year shooting in the woods, first year with this experimental barrel, I was pretty pleased. And to wrap all that up, I was telling Pat the whole time we were in the cabin in the evenings afterwards, I'm like, as soon as I get home, I am pulling this liner out and I'm going to see how that 1 in 18 did. Not only did that 1 in 18 perform exceptionally well, it liked a completely different pellet. So now instead of using the FX 13.4 grain, this one actually likes the 10.6 dead centers. So again, dead centers, really performing well as a pellet. Do not overlook those guys.
No,
and
no.
do give them a spot in your rotation for finding out what pellet your gun likes, because they are pretty darn good.
Yeah. And
So
the third pellet you're going to try, I want to make sure that he don't forgotten.
The redesigns,
Is the 13.43 redesigns. I'm curious, because in my Katran,
we will have that answer at the next podcast. I promise.
I'm so curious.
I will shoot 3 pellets for that shootout and have data to back it up. I will shoot the regular 13.4. I will shoot the 13.4 redesign, and I will also shoot this dead center 10.6 and see who gets the prize at the end of the day.
Sounds good.
But
I love competition.
I've yacked enough about the field target event. One of us here on the Airgun Geeks, who isn't me, actually clinched 4th place, and just narrowly missed a freaking podium finish at the PA Cup. So that was pretty darn cool. And I think we'll start, Pat, with the first thing I think that was decided was who won the Springer class.
Yes.
Speed shooting. And I got to tell you, if I had somebody to bet with, I would have put my money on Cameron. I had a conversation with Cameron earlier in the day, and he was telling me that he was 15% faster than he was last year with this new gun that he built for that event. And I thought, wow, this guy won last year, and this year he's 15% faster. That's going to be something to watch. But the guy that's on your screen right now, Ryan Spanigal, he absolutely crushed all comers. And it wasn't even really close. He put on a show for how to make that happen. And congratulations to him on turning in a really interesting performance.
He does do a lot of preparation. I've known Ryan for a while, and watching him, and that's the key with, especially with spring guns, is your process. You just gotta, what do they say? You can't lose fast enough.
You can't miss fast enough.
You can't miss fast enough. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll never miss fast enough to win.
Yeah.
And one other thing I want to credit Ryan with is, remember I talked about Linda, my squad mate from Saturday Field Target, and her gun blowing up. It was Ryan that actually got her a box stock DRS from a shop, put a scope on it, got the dope for her, got it all set up and ready to go so that she could compete in the PA Cup.
Wow.
So not only did he have all of his own preparation to do, he actually took it on his own self to get her a gun and get her back in the game.
Emergency preparation. So,
yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. Kudos.
And that shows the culture of air gunners too.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that.
Agreed. Agreed.
That took a lot out of his normal process and meeting and greeting everyone and whatnot. So
agreed. So I'm going to read from Tyler's words here. I'm going to have to put my glasses on. You'll have to excuse me. So this was written by Tyler Patner, not only an extraordinary field target shooter, but also the match director for this whole event. He says, in the first quarter, Patrick Schmitz was clearly the man to beat, advancing to the semifinals. He would meet Wes Crisp in the semifinal match, who had already defeated Nick Grigoris and John Bagakis to get his semifinal spot. So Pat didn't lose easily. He stood above some really, really good speed shooters. And when I was talking about accuracy before, the guy was putting up with a lot. Notice he's got a bag here instead of a really good rigid tripod or bipod on the front of this gun. I think that was a component. He was definitely not comfortable. If you look at this whole cocking thing going on with his hand here, it looks like he's playing a slap bass or something.
Yeah, it was an adventure.
But kudos to you for having the best finish of any Airgun Geeks competitor.
Oh, thank you very much. It was a blast. And, Wes is a great guy. Make sure you check out his video. And it's no excuses. It's two good shooters at the end. And, well, he got it. I'll see him next year.
Yep.
So, but out of 55 shooters, I came in fourth. I'm a happy camper.
Yeah,
I had a blast.
That's saying a lot. And, I don't want to gloss over the rest of our shooters, but I will say that Pat also had a personal best in bench rest.
Yeah.
And, our friend from Russia, the Rus Bear, Nikolai Buldov, he got first place and he absolutely earned that. He turned in a really good performance. And watching his video about his preparations with Keith Gibson, staying with him on his farm and getting his gun sorted out. And who's that guy next to him, Pat, that got second?
The infamous Thane Simmons,
Yeah.
the reigning past 3 crown champion.
Yes. And what was interesting was I'm going to go out on a limb here and say there were slightly less FX guns in the overall scheme, but there was still a lot of FX guns there. I think it was 30% of the guns in the bench rest were FXs. And then I think the next closest one was either Daystate or our friends in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Scout?
Yes. They were also pretty big there. But yeah, we had a great turnout. We had great competition, and kudos to everyone who did well, who I failed to mention here because I couldn't go through everybody. But I think Lauren actually got placed in 2 different events, correct?
From what I can remember, yeah. She did. She made it to finals in bench, and she did really good in the field target.
Yeah.
So women were very well represented, which was another thing that was exciting to see. There was a lot more women shooters.
Very true.
So,
and not just women shooters, but really good competitors.
Yes.
I mean, they were we're going to take your lunch money, boys.
Yeah. Don't take their niceness as a weakness.
Yeah. Here, hold my beer. That was that kind of moment.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah, for bench, I was shooting the raw with the LRT stock that I borrowed from Joel. The only thing, I'll be honest, I didn't do anything all year, really shooting too much, just shooting iguanas, but I weighed pellets. And that's what got me my first card was 204 and 3 X's. And then I went to the whole other end of the range the next day and did 224 with 8 X's. So I was next to Russ Bear the whole time watching him poke holes like a surgeon. Yeah, he is something to watch on top of that. But yeah, I had a blast.
What do you think was the most interesting thing about how he shoots bench rest that would benefit our listeners and watchers?
Well, he makes sure the gun is doing what the gun is supposed to do. Step 1. He gets all of his ammo was put in foam. So that preparation that he did. Then the way he set up the bench for both heats that I watched, because I didn't watch the finals, because I was with you at Field Target, was the same. Puts the gun out, he puts it on his bipod that he has, his rear support, his bag, everything. And then when you watch him, his breathing and everything changes. And he don't wear earmuffs or nothing. I didn't see him wearing anything. He might have had earbuds in, but he just, this is what I'm concentrating on. At the minimum, make sure the gun works because you're the biggest variable, and just concentrate on what you're doing. Because when I was done shooting my card and I was looking around, there was a lot of guys just looking at everyone else, and I'm like, they're losing their zone, you know. And one of the guys that I've been, we'll call it mentoring, talking with all through the years is Rob Falcone,
who
and
also had a personal best score.
he did very, very well. Yes.
He actually beat you.
He did, in a way, but I'll leave it at that. He'll know what I'm talking about. But no, I talked to him throughout the year. The same thing you do for all of your training, train as you fight as you train. When you're at the bench practicing, do the same thing when you go to competition. The way you sit, the way you breathe, if you have a hat on, whatever you're going to do, everything needs to be the same. Don't change anything. When you're in the fight, you're in the fight. Don't go looking around. You know, if you talk to yourself while doing it. Whatever you do, you need to do at your competition. And then when you're all done, then you can look around and all that. But was another thing that I want to say was very exciting and a big improvement, and props to the PA Cup people. And I think Tyler pushed it pretty good with this one. Was having the, what was it, long shot. Yeah, long shot cameras out there. And then they had big TV screens. It was a little RMAC-ish kind of going on where you could see the cards of the different shooters. Plus, you were able to pull it up on your phone and see where you're at also. And you could take pictures as you're going, which was pretty cool.
And for the spectators, it's the first time since I've been doing this or watching this that it was actually entertaining to watch bench rest.
Yeah.
Because you could actually see the cards. If you're sitting back in the crowd and the target's 100 yards away, not many of us can make out with any reasonable acuity pellet holes, and much less score them.
Correct.
Having that video image in very high res was absolutely magical. And you could even tie into that feed with your phone or a tablet or whatever. And literally the shooter could have that right at the bench. They leveled up. They leveled up with that system. And I would say it should become the new standard for bench rest events that are at least, of this class.
And the other thing that the PA Cup does for bench is they actually have two cardboards. So when you're looking at them, you just see your target, but there's actually a blank cardboard. It's about 2 feet behind it. So if you get crossfire, which happened to me, the range safety officer comes out, and for the whole match, which at that time was Adam, and they stick the rod through it, and they can see. Yes, you could look at it and see that it's an angle, but they got the hole behind it, and that gets rid of all of the BS. There's no complaining or this or that. No, look at the angle. Boom, done. I find that to be that extra level of insurance, of this stopping the argument right there.
Yeah.
But you got to mention it before they change, because every time they change the card, it's new cardboard front and back every single time. So I find that really cool in itself.
Agreed.
So I think it's been a big increase in the details, and the way it flowed this year, I thought was phenomenal.
Yep.
There was a lot. There was definitely more people, more competitors there
Mm.
for everything, for gunslinger, for bench, and definitely field target. I've never seen that many in field target, and I walked around a lot while you were doing that. And I was like, there's a lot of people here, and there was a lot of spectators
Mhm.
that were there, and they had to learn you don't necessarily talk too much during it's a lot we're calling it airgun golf. It's airgun golf rules. So you know, and pausing before you walk behind a shooter when he shoots. And then when he shoots, then you go. The once everyone learned that, and there was a lot of new people, it was great. The water was great with Firebird Targets donating all the water. If you went thirsty, it was your fault.
Oh, yeah. There were
I'm just gonna
literally
say that right now.
piles of water bottles
Everywhere,
everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere, and all of the Pyramyd Air people, the staff, making sure you need water, you got water,
Mhm.
do you need anything quickly on it? Personally, being the former sales supervisor there was great to see everyone. I got to see Greg, and we went up with Ruth there and her husband Brian, and seeing Adam and Tyler and just everyone. It was such a good time. The vibe this year was so much fun and not stressful, because not everyone knows this is the third annual to the restart of the PA Cup
Mhm.
since the pandemic and all of that stuff. And it was a little bit of a hiccup for the first year and got better the second, but this being the third,
And Tyler gave kudos to Emily for reorganizing
yes.
the bench rest so that you shot 2 cards for the determination whether or not you're going to get in the finals. And
Hmm.
then finals, instead of just a single card, you had 2 cards for
Two
finals as
cards.
well. And
Hmm.
that does to dial out the luck aspect on lane choice, lane selection, all of that stuff. And
Agree.
I want to say absolute kudos to both Tyler Patner and Emily and the
Yes.
entire staff at PA who put on a really, really great show. It was so enjoyable.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't see anything this year that was like, oh gosh, I hope I don't do that again. Um, everything was fantastic. I won a gun at the raffle. That was
Hmm.
always a plus. Pat didn't, so I laughed at him. That was
Well,
big fun.
well, in a little bit of a way, because they only took cash. Well, you used my $100. Nah, just joking. It's all good. I'm glad that someone in the Airgun Geek management team here, the leads, got something.
Yeah.
So it just always happens to be you. So I think I'm just gonna have you buy all the tickets next year.
I'm it's funny you mentioned that because I'm actually in a raffle right now. The results may already be in. They just haven't notified the winners, but um a friend of ours from the East Coast had a fire department that was running a raffle,
Hmm.
and you didn't need to be present to win. So I did get a couple of tickets to that. So
Oh,
uh, yeah, that's all firearms though. That could be really
hey,
cool.
it's all good. Although you live in California, maybe you
Mm.
can send it to the free state of Florida. I don't know.
I
Uh,
also have a friend who's an FFL in PA, so that's I got that base covered no matter what.
yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less. Well, we got it's getting near the end of the year. We got what, three more episodes I think we're gonna do. And the end one is always the fun one. I always tell everyone, as I did last year, make sure you check out the holiday special that comes out in December. Um, we always have a good time with that one.
Mhm.
So we got some pretty cool guests that I think we're gonna get on that one. Um,
And
the next
also
one,
keep an eye on both channels because we've got
mhm,
some killer interviews that I was able to get at the
yes,
PA Cup. You've already seen one of them. There's a lot more coming, so Stay tuned to the Airgun Geeks on YouTube and also Target Forge on YouTube.
Correct. And if you're listening on Apple Podcast, please give us 5 stars and leave a comment. That really helps with Apple Podcasts. So everyone that's been doing that, thank you very much. Spotify, I think you can leave comments. I've gotten some pretty good things going on there. This is the support. As Bill was talking earlier, YouTube doesn't really like us and what we do as far as our
well, it's
genre,
not us personally.
genre.
They really try to get rid of the whole gun culture, and they don't really care whether it says air in front of the word gun. They
Correct.
focus on the word gun. That's what they're trying to execute here. So
Correct.
our way against that is to, please, share the videos, get the word out, help us do this organically, because YouTube isn't going to help us.
No. So share, subscribe, everything. Watch the videos. Everyone that's been doing that, great. Every time I look at our subscriptions, they keep going up on the main Airgun Geeks channel. Very exciting. Also, don't forget that Bill has a channel called the DIY Maker. It has nothing to do with air guns, but it has to do with a lot of everything else. So it's very exciting. He stays very busy with that and makes me look good. So I always give him props for that. Well, we got exciting podcasts coming up next month with 2 different channel faces coming to one channel that will be on the Airgun Geeks. So you'll have to watch next month to see who that is, but it will definitely be worth the watch or the listen.
They're a pair of titans from the YouTube universe.
Yes. And the knowledge that is going to pour out of that podcast is going to be crazy.
Yep.
So, well, Bill, you got anything to say at the end of the podcast to the listeners and viewers?
Do keep an eye on my Amazon store if you're familiar with that, because this year is going to be epic in terms of the collections of gifts that I'm going to have for the air gunner. So if you're looking to buy yourself something, or you want your spouse to make sure that she gets you something that's really cool and not some stupid tie or a pair of socks, I can help you with that. And my Amazon store is where you can check that out and get tuned into that. So there will be some gift ideas for 2025 specifically targeted to the DIYer and also the air gunner as well. There'll be 2 separate collections, but they're things that I think I would want to find under the tree this Christmas, and I think you guys will too.
Yeah. If you got any interests, topics you want us to cover, or you just don't like us, feel free to email us at the airgungeeks@gmail.com. If you want to send one straight to Bill, you could do bill@airgungeeks@gmail.com. Either way,
it's Airgun Geeks plus Bill
Airgun
at gmail.com.
Dyslexic. Yeah, there you go. Yes.
And Pat, if you wanted to go to Pat, it's Airgun Geeks plus Patrick at gmail.com.
Or you could just be simple and go to airgungeeks@gmail.com and gets to both of us. Well, with that said, I'm excited for the next couple episodes. I'm excited to share the data that you're going to have with the stuff you're working on. And enjoy the days. And like always, stay geeky.